The story begins in Hawaii, where Robert Kiyosaki grows up in the 1950s and 1960s. His poor dad is highly educated, he has a PhD, works as a government employee and later becomes the head of education for the state of Hawaii. He believes strongly in traditional success: study hard, get good grades, secure a high-paying job with benefits, save money, avoid debt, and live within your means. Despite his intelligence and stable income, poor dad constantly struggles financially. Bills pile up, taxes take a big chunk, and he often says things like, "Money doesn't grow on trees," or, "I can't afford that." His mindset traps him in the rat race, working harder for more money, but never truly getting ahead because expenses rise with income. In contrast, Rich Dad is the father of Robert's best friend Mike. He dropped out of school early but became a very successful entrepreneur and investor. He owns businesses, real estate, and other investments that generate passive income. Rich Dad speaks differently about money. He teaches that the rich don't work for money, money works for them. He emphasizes financial intelligence over academic credentials, saying schools teach people to be employees or professionals, not business owners or investors. Rich Dad believes in taking calculated risks, building assets, and using other people's money and time wisely. The turning point in the story comes when young Robert and Mike, around 9 years old, want to make money. They try simple ideas like melting toothpaste tubes to extract the silver, a failed scheme, but they get frustrated because they keep working hard without getting rich. One day, they ask Rich Dad for advice. Instead of giving them a job or cash, he offers to teach them about money if they work for him for free at his small store. They agree, hoping to learn a secret to getting rich quick. Rich Dad starts by paying them very little or nothing at first, which frustrates them. He explains a powerful lesson: the poor and middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them. He shows how fear of not having enough money and desire for nice things make most people chase paychecks. Employees trade time for money, pay high taxes first, and then spend what's left. Rich people acquire assets that put money in their pocket without constant work. Over the years, Rich Dad gives the boys practical lessons through real-life experiences. Lesson 1. The rich don't work for money. He teaches them not to let emotions control financial decisions. Instead of quitting when pay is low, they learn to think like business owners. Lesson 2. Why teach financial literacy? Rich Dad explains the difference between assets and liabilities. An asset puts money in your pocket, e.g., rental property, stocks that pay dividends, a business. A liability takes money out, e.g., a fancy car, big house with high mortgage if it's not generating income. The rich buy assets, the poor have expenses, and the middle class buy liabilities they mistake for assets, like a big home they think is an investment. Lesson 3. Mind your own business. Focus on building your asset column, not just climbing the corporate ladder. Poor dad worked for a company, rich dad owned companies. Lesson 4. The history of taxes and corporations. Rich Dad explains how the wealthy use corporations to pay less tax legally, expenses first, then taxes, while employees pay taxes first. Lesson 5. The rich invent money. Opportunities are everywhere if you have financial education and courage. He teaches about using leverage, other people's money, in creative investing. Lesson 6. Work to learn, not for money. Robert works different jobs at Xerox, in sales, not for the paycheck, but to learn skills like selling, managing people, and systems, skills Rich Dad says are essential for building wealth. As the boys grow, Robert applies these lessons. He starts small investments, buys real estate, starts businesses, and builds passive income streams. Poor dad's advice leads to a life of security but struggle. Rich dad's leads to financial freedom. The book ends with Robert reflecting on how these contrasting philosophies shaped his life, urging readers to choose financial education, take responsibility for their money, and stop fearing failure. In essence, the story is Robert's transformation from a boy confused by money to a man who escapes the rat race. The key message is that wealth isn't about how much you earn, but how you think about and manage money. Schools don't teach this, financial intelligence does. The book has sold millions because its simple, story-driven style makes complex ideas accessible. Critics note some parts are simplified or exaggerated, like the exact details of Rich Dad's identity, but the principles remain powerful. Prioritize assets over liabilities, build financial literacy, think like an investor entrepreneur, and let money work for you.